Hello everyone, today in this video we are going to deal with a poem that is Animals by Walt Whitman. In this poem, the poet has compared animals and human beings. He finds that animals are far better than human beings, and therefore he wants to convert himself into animal. He wants to be animal. The poet has made scathing remarks against human beings in this poem. He has compared human beings to animals. He feels that human has lost human values and has degenerated to beast. The poet feels more at home with animals than human beings. He feels that animals have imbibed all humane values while human being has lost it somewhere. He has made a minute observation and then he has come to this point. In this poem, he has shared his observation, that is, he has shared the characteristics which he found in animals these days, but those qualities were or are supposed to be found in human beings. But he says that animals has become more humane than human being. Even in this poem, through this poem, he has shown the degenerated form of human being. Now, before we proceed to the text, let me introduce you to the poet Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. He was born on 31st May 1892. Born in Huntington on Long Island, Whitman worked as a journalist, a teacher, and a government clerk. Whitman's major work, Leaves of Grass, was first published in 1855. He is often called as a father of free verse. He continued expanding and revising Leaves of Grass till his death. He died on 26 March 1890. Now moving to the text, and this poem has been taken from Song of Myself in Leaves of Grass. So now let's move to the text. I think I could turn and live with animals. So they are so placid and self-content. I stand and look at them long and long. So the opening line, in the very opening line, he has made a declaration that he think that he could turn, could here shows that if it would have been in its ability to convert himself into an animal, then definitely he would turn up into animal and he would love to live with animals instead of living with human being or instead of living in a human form. Now why he has said so? He has given explanation for that why he wants to convert himself into animal and why he wants or he feels more comfortable with animals. He says that they are so placid, they has been used for animals. They are so placid and self-content. Placid means calm, peaceful. Content means they are satisfied. While human beings are not calm, they are not satisfied. Their greed keeps increasing, and that too at a very fast pace. Then he says, I stand and look at them long and long. So he says he used to observe animals very minutely. He used to stand and used to look at animals for a long time. And while observing, he has found all these things. He has found all these human characteristics which he is going to discuss in the poem, which once human possesses, but now it is somewhere lost. But now those qualities are no more found among human beings, but while it is found in animals. Now what he says, they do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with mania of owing things. Now what he says that what are the characteristics he has seen in animals? He says that they do not sweat and whine. Sweat and whine, here it means that they do not cry. They do not cry and complain. Sweat and whine, here it is metaphor and it refers to complain and cry. He says that they never complain and cry. And we human beings, we keeps on, our list of complaints are so long. And in comparison to the thanks list, our list of complaints are quite longer than the thanks list. So he says, but animals, they never complain about their situation, about their condition. Whatever they have, in whatever condition they used to be, they are satisfied, they are happy, and they are living that situation happily. But he says, human being, they are never satisfied, they are never happy, always wants more and more. And that's why human being always complain and cry. Now next line, he says, they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for the saints. Now again he says that human being commits mistakes, commits commits wrong deed every minute. They commits different sins every minute. And as a result, as a repentance or as a worry, they are depressed, they are frustrated, they are lost in those sins only, and therefore they had to lie awake and weep in all alone. In the dark, they are not able to sleep. During night, they are not able to sleep because those wrongdoings, the things which he has done, which the human has done wrong to someone, keeps coming in the mind. The conscience of the human being does not allow him to sleep. It means they lack, due to that sin, they lack the peace of mind, peace and serenity of mind, and as a result, they have lost their sleep, which is the basic need. While it is not so with animals, they never lie awake in dark, they never weep for the sins because they never commit any sort of sins. Now again in next line he says, again they do not, they refers to against to animal, they do not make me sick discussing their duty to gods. We human beings, we are in a habit to boast about ourselves. We sow our duty, we beat about the bush, we used to pretend as if we are very dutiful and responsible and and perform all the duties assigned to us by God. But in reality, we never do that. We just keep on making list of duties and responsibility of being a human being, but we never perform that duties. The duties which God has bestowed us, has given us to do on this earth. We never do that. Instead of doing those things, we are busy in committing crimes. We are busy in harming other people. We are busy in cheating other people. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Again he says not one. Here again he talks about animals, that none of them are dissatisfied. All are satisfied. All are happy with what they are. All are happy with their situation. Not one is demented. Demented here refers to disturbed, as they are satisfied, and as a result they are not disturbed. They are quite happy. They are living their life peacefully. But human being, in the desire of owning more and more things, the human being commits a number of crimes, a number of mistakes. They do a number of wrong things to other people, and as a result, they always find themselves disturbed. Disturbed with what? Disturbed with the mania of owing things. We human being has got a sort of madness in our mind. And what sort of madness it is? It is the madness of owing things. We want to own more and more things. We think that we are going to live forever on this earth, and for that human beings wants to possess as many as material things as they can, and in order to do so they commit number of mistakes, number of sins. So here it is said that those animals, they don't have this mania, this madness, this obsession of owning things. They are happy with what they have. They only think of those things which is necessary for their survival. But we human beings think beyond our survival needs. We think for our luxury and even beyond that. So it refers to these things that we human beings have the mania of owning things. We want to possess more and more, or if it would be in our power, then human being and someone will try to possess the whole universe. And that's why we continue to do different experiment, and we are trying our best to achieve more and more and to show our power on different natural things. We are trying to overpower even God in some and other way. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relation to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself, they evince them plainly in their position. So now in this paragraph he says, they never kneels to another. It means among them all are equal. They are not treated differently. There is similarity and equality among them. No one had to kneel in front of someone. Kneel, it means here it refers to they don't have to bow down in front of someone else. They never had to bow down in front of someone else. No one is more powerful and no one is weaker in their society among them. And therefore all are treated equally. Not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. So we human beings pray to our ancestors, but even they don't pray to our ancestors, they to their ancestors. They don't have to show their duties and responsibility by praying. They never even bow in front of them. We used to pray to different gods, to our ancestors, but they never do that. Because duty is the most important. And doing no harm to anyone is secondly, it is most important. So they never do any harm and they perform their duty. So they perform nothing else from these two. And therefore they never have to kneel or bow down in front of anyone, and they treat all animals equally. They all are equal among them. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So he says that no one is respectable among them. All are equal. And no one is unhappy. But we human beings, we work throughout our life so that we can gain some respect, so-called respect or fake respect, which is not everlasting. And we are always unhappy, we are always sad, we are always complaining, we keep complaining. So therefore he says that among them no one is respectable and even no one is unhappy. They all are happy because they are satisfied. And since they don't have any malice in their heart, And therefore what they do, they show their relation to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince. Now what does this line say? That therefore they don't have dual personality. They show what they are. They don't have two face. Generally human being, they speak something else, perform something else, do something else. So he says that it's not like that among those animals. They are as they are. They are simple. They are not, they don't have that tendency to deceive other people. They don't cheat anyone. They are quite honest in their relation. Even we human beings, we have even degenerated our relation as well. But they are not bad. They show they are honest. They show their relation what it is. They don't have any dual face. And therefore what he find? They bring me tokens of myself. He says that he can see tokens to the qualities of human being. It means he says that he finds the qualities of human being in them, in animals, which were once possessed by myself. Myself refers to human being. So he says that whatever qualities we human beings were supposed to possess, now is being possessed by those qualities, being possessed by those qualities he sees in those animals. And therefore he wants to be animal, them plainly in their possession. So he can see those human quality quite clear in those animals, and therefore he says that he want to turn up to animal. I wonder where they get those tokens. Tokens again refers to those qualities which human being used to possess once. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently dropped them? So he says in the last line, he ends the poem with a question mark. So this question is not for an answer in order to exaggerate it, to hyper the situation. So he says that I wonder, he is surprised that from where they got those qualities. So he says, in the last line he says that whether it happened sometime that we human beings were passing from somewhere where animals used to live, and perhaps by mistake, by careless attitude, by negligence, we drop those human quality there among animals, and perhaps those qualities now being embedded by animals. So this is the literal meaning of the poem. In the poem, the poet has compared human beings to animals, and that too in a degenerated form. He says that we human beings are worse than these animals. Now let's move to the literary device used in this poem. Now you can see over here in the first paragraph, I sound is quite prominent. I think, I live with animal. So it forms a literary device that is known as assonance. Again in the first two line you can see this two line starts with the same word, that is I. Therefore it forms a literary device that is known as anaphora. Again the subsequent three line you can see they do not. It starts with they do not. So again it forms a literary device that is anaphora. Now you can see over here in the first line shifts to subsequent line without any punctuation mark, and even in the second last line here you can see. So it forms a literary device that is known as enjambment. Again you can see over here in the third line long and long. It is being repeated, the word long is repeated, therefore it forms a literary device that is known as repetition. Now again you can see that sweat and wine here in the first line. In this line you can see sweat and wine here refers to cry and complaints. So therefore it indirectly refers to cry and complaint which we human being have. So it forms a literary device, that is metaphor. In the next part, here you can see O sound is prominent, not one, two, another, nor, two again. So it forms a literary device, that is assonance. Now again, here in this line you can see they, theirs, them. So T sound is repeated in the beginning of the word, so it forms a literary device, that is alliteration. So again here in this line, second last line, I wonder where they get those tokens. T sound is again being repeated in the beginning of these three words, so again it forms a literary device, that is alliteration. Now in this line here you can see they bring me tokens. Tokens here refers to the human qualities. Therefore it forms a literary device, that is known as metaphor. So this is all about the literary devices and the meaning of the poem. So thanks for watching, and if you have any doubt, write in our comment box.